Hello, everybody, to another episode of the Be Fearless podcast. Welcome, and thank you to the country of Portugal for picking up my podcast this month. I truly appreciate all your support. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you continue to love and support the content that I bring you every week. And without further ado, I need to introduce you today to our guest, which is a true force in the realms of dance, entertainment, and entrepreneurship. She has a journey that is nothing short of extraordinary. For her modest beginning in St. Louis, Missouri, she carved a path of success through sheer perseverance and determination. For me, and I know you will agree with me, she's a true powerhouse. Let's welcome the one, the only Christy Buss. Hi, Christy.
Wow, thank you so much, Dagmar. That was so
Oh,
nice.
I am so sorry. I forgot.
Oh, I need the applause. I'm a dancer.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was like a repeat. They were like, not enough. We need to keep going. Okay. Welcome to Be Fearless Podcast. Thank you so much for sharing your story today with us. Um, First of all, for the people that doesn't know you out there, which I truly be surprised if they don't know you, but for the people that doesn't know who Christy Buss is, who was she growing up and what was her dream?
Well, my dream was to be just like my mom. And my mom owned a dance studio when really there was no women who really owned businesses back in the day in the 50s. They stayed
Mhm.
at home and raised their kids, but my mom was so uniquely different. And so she had a dance studio, and I grew up in her dance studio, and I watched her every day from not just dancing, but really how to run a business. And she just was my inspiration to be something bigger than what most people were at that time of growing up. And I learned so much from her, and she's like my hero. And she's 89 right now, and she's going to be turning 90 in June. So she's a spitfire. She's doing really good. She's slowing down a little bit, but
Yeah.
she's a tapper and has been dancing her whole life. And I just really think that I am who I am because of my mom.
Oh my God. But you definitely fulfilled that dream. You have had a very successful dancing career. Tell us about that. How do you start? How do you get involved? You already said that you have your basically all your background in dancing come from your mom and spending years in her studio. But how was like those first step in your dancing career?
Well, she gave me the opportunity to start teaching at like 11 and 12. I mean, I would be with her as her assistant. And then by in that 13 range, I literally had my own classes. And, I knew I needed to be diligent. I needed to be strong. I needed to be not afraid to be in front of the room and do what I needed to do with kids and adults. And, I learned so much from that. And at the time when I was doing all that, I told my mom because I know how hard she worked. And I knew that, it took up a lot of time. Any business that you do, any entrepreneurship takes up more time than you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
And I don't believe people understand that unless they have their own business. I mean, it just seems so simple and hey, I own this No, it's every day, 24 hours a day. It's a lot of heartache, it's a lot of learning curves. And I told my mom, I said, I don't want to own a dance studio ever. Like when I grow up after you, I just said it's just too much. But when I got to LA, and I'll tell you that story in a minute, but I was teaching workouts and they knew I danced and they came to me and they're like, we really want to start a kids program. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. But they said, oh, I'll just give you this. And I said, okay. So literally started with one student and it opened the doors for me to say, wow, I enjoy this again. Like it was something that I was just dancing on my own, but to then get involved with teaching kids again at a
Mhm.
more mature age, if that's it, it really inspired me. So I started with one student, then 10, then 30, and literally 28 years later, I ran a studio for that long, and I had up to 450 students at some point. And it was amazing. And I learned so much from that. And my kids still call me Miss Christy. Their kids are having kids. So, it's been a long journey of generations that I've taught. And there's nothing like it. There's nothing. It keeps you humble, and it
Yeah.
keeps you grounded. And at the same time, you make those kids understand when you're teaching them that it's not just about dance, about who you become. It's your character and your discipline, and everything that I did while I taught. I wanted them to be better people in the long run, not just good dancers. So, and that's all their parents used to tell me, and that's what counts. It's
Yeah.
like being a good person. That and that's what is the most important thing I know as of today. So yeah, that journey of owning a dance studio, which led me into so many other things. I've danced a lot. I've danced, you know, from being on, sports teams, to being in movies, to doing Super Bowls, to then choreographing for daytime television. I did that for almost 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I did Days of Our Lives, I did Passions, and a little bit of Sunset Beach, but I was on there. I was the choreographer of the show, and who gets to do that?
Exactly.
What dance is in daytime TV? But actually, Days of Our Lives, they loved dance. They loved the romance. Like there would be dream scenes of them coming together and doing a romantic dance, and that was me doing them. And so it was a lot of fun, and you just can't beat it. You can't beat what dance can do for you on so many levels.
Oh, that's amazing. And
Yeah,
okay, because there's so much to dissect
I
here,
know.
and
It's so hard.
we're just talking about the dancing part of your life.
Mhm.
Um, I can't imagine how would you feel right now when you see the skits that you thought years ago.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing.
What's the feedback? How they come to you? What they tell you when they see you?
Oh, I just did a wedding dance yesterday. I went to actually I sold my studio to my assistant, which she was with me at 7 years old, and she stayed with me. And at about 30 years old, I said, it's time. It was around the COVID time where I lost my
Mhm.
brick and mortar. And I told Janice, I'm going to find you a little small studio, because there's no way she could afford what I did. But start small and pick it back up. And so it was funny, because one of the parents of my kids, which they all reach out to me all the time, she's like, my daughter's getting married, and do you know anybody that can do their wedding dance? I'm like, you don't need to ask anybody. I'm gonna do it. So I literally went there yesterday, and they just the excitement of a couple wanting to get married, and just whatever I did, they were just like so excited of that's the thought that they had about this particular dance, because it's really not about the dancing. it's about it's about how they come together and touch each other to the people that are there for them to celebrate. And this is the kind of stuff I did on daytime, because it's like a fairy tale, right?
Yeah.
So they were so happy, and I'm like, and I told him, I'm like, you guys, I'm not charging you. This is family, and this is my gift to you. And that's what it's all about, is just to be there and help the kids. They're growing up. I mean, I went to a baby shower of one of my kids that became one of my teachers, and I couldn't believe she was having a baby. And then other parents were there of the student. They all stay in this nice little group that they grew up together. They're still
Yeah.
together. And one of the parents just, that wasn't the one that was pregnant, but there was another dancer there, and she's like, you raised my kids with me, and I'm so grateful. Because she had three young ones, and of course, I let her. I charge her for one, and all three of them came, something like that. But then what she did for me is she did my garden outside of my studio. And that's what makes things so much nice, that I could help her, but she could help me and make my studio be the best looking, outside
Yeah.
potted, planted.
Best
just
studio in the
dancing
area.
around. Yeah, and it just made a difference. It made a difference,
Yeah.
because I wanted it to feel like home.
But
And
I think that it also created, now that you said that, it also created a sense of community,
yeah,
and when you create that feeling, create that cohesiveness within the community and the people that, bring the children, and they know they can trust you and vice versa. I mean, the
I
feeling
was
is
some of their
completely.
parents. Like the parents didn't want to parents with that. Christy, can you tell her to do this? I'm like, oh my God, but yeah,
That's
I
good.
mean, it was a blessing. And, I, I'm grateful for Janice to take over. She's loving every minute of it. I'm proud of her because I was really hard on her. It's like, if you want to do this, you got to really understand. So she was right underneath me about even just, she would get mad at me all the time. She's like way younger than me. And she's like, I can't believe you're not letting her pay her bill, or something like this. And now I ask her, she goes, yeah, I get it. I get it. Sometimes you just want to help, you know? And so, because, she just wanted me to not get run over, I guess,
Yes.
because I was very, very sweet, very nice with people that maybe couldn't afford going at the time. And it's like, it's okay. Just bring them. It'll all work out. Something like that. That's how you keep a business for 28 years.
Yeah.
That's how you keep the kids there from 3 to 18. Many of my kids stayed with me so that they could be on
Wow.
stage with me, so that I could ask what school they're going to, and what college,
But
etc.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing because, I mean, the sense of purpose that you provided to this kid, to actually wanting to come and back and do more and learn more and grow in their area in their life is amazing. And not everybody's capable to actually instill that in kids these days.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
usually a studio gets open and, kids come in and out for a couple seasons and they're gone and move to something else.
I mean,
But
it was a good amount. I mean, it wasn't all my kids, but for the mainstay, because I had a company 1, 2, and 3, and they wanted to go in company 1, and then when they got to company 1, they wanted to do 2, and then be in 3, and then be in excelled. So
yeah.
they had steps to take to want to move forward in.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was something to look forward to. But
That's
yeah,
amazing.
that's how business is. You want to be there for the, you want to be approachable, right? And
Mhm.
you want to be good at what you do, obviously. But um, everything matters. Everything
Yes.
matters.
Every single detail does matter.
Mhm.
And talking about details, can you tell us on what things you did to actually kind of like keep a balance? Because it was not only Christy, the dance teacher, it was also Christy, the entertainer. And, how do you balance to kind of like keep those two um, jobs running at the same time? Because it could be a lot for a person to handle, a lot of work.
Y- I don't know. I think, just like I said, my mom was my inspiration, and I watched her do many tasks at the same time. So, and she had 5 kids. So, and she was a single
But I
mom.
guess that is also when you love what you do, it doesn't
Yeah.
seem like a job as
No,
well.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely work. There's work, and it's tiring, and you live your life inside a box in the studio. And, you know, um, that's why after 28 years, I was like, look, I want to pivot into something. But sincerely, like, I was blessed a long time ago. And this is the documentary that I'm working on right now. And it's something that I won in 1979. Or I wouldn't have even had a studio like this. I wouldn't be out in California. I wouldn't be doing anything of what I'm saying I'm doing. And it was in 1979, was a TV show, and it was called The All-American Woman. It was actually called The All-American Girl, but on TV, you had to say woman if you're over 18, but it was like really the girl next door kind of thing.
Mhm.
And it was based on sports, which was at Title IX time, just started happening. And obviously dance, which was disco at the time, and personality. So little old me, I got to even be a part of it, because I'm not the Barbie, like I can't be a Miss USA. I'm not that stature. There's a lot of us who aren't. So it gave opportunity for people like me to be able to strive for something like this contest. So in the big picture, I want it. And I don't know how I want it, but I want it. And I won at that time, I believe it was 25,000 in cash and 25,000 in prizes, but two of the prizes was for me to come to LA and be in two TV shows. One was Circus of the Stars and the other one was the People's Choice Awards, which was he produced at those times, this particular producer. And that's a dream come true. Like that's something that I'm looking back over now because I'm doing this documentary, and it's I want to give other people that dream, because it's far and few right now of us, seeing kids and what they're doing and just you striving to be the best that they can be with whatever talent they have, if it's any kind of sport, anything. I was the first and last. I was the only one, because this production, I think, was up against a big basketball game. It was the NCAA tournament, and it was against Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. So nobody's going to watch it. No, nobody watched it except for family of the people that were probably in the show. But it was a big show. I mean, it was a big, big show, and I want to bring that back. I want to, and I want to meet the people that were in the show. Like I want to meet the 45 contestants. I don't know how to reach them because I've been looking for them, but their names, and back in 1979, there was not a lot of people social. Like you can't reach out because their names are changed or whatever. But I think this documentary will open up the doors to bring people back. Are they still here? How they impacted the world being on that show, compared to like me winning it. Like what did they do to, do what they could do to help the world or whatever. And that's what I felt like I did when I taught kids. So that's a big thing in my life right now.
I
That's
can't wait for this documentary to come out. Like
it's I've done so much, and I've only gotten to do that based on the opportunity that this particular show gave me. And I was shocked when I won. I mean, come on. I literally fell back. I mean, most winners, they just go, thank you, put the crown on. I was just like, oh my God, are you serious?
oh, everyone like blown away. I can't
Yeah.
imagine.
So, but I wouldn't be talking about my dance studio like this. I wouldn't be doing that without this particular incident that happened to me. It changes your life. So things can change your life. Just like your show, and it reaching so many different places, it just changes your life, and you just don't know when things are going to happen to you, but you have to be ready, number one. And it just makes the hard work that you do pay off. And so I'm really excited about it. And then, obviously pivoting now at 60, I'm 65 right now. But I changed.
Take notes because we're going to talk about that.
When you live in LA, you can get a little, you do things.
It
but
doesn't
it's okay.
matter.
But,
it doesn't matter. Just to have the energy at 65 to do what you do, because I know you still dance.
Oh, yeah.
You still dance. You also run your own skincare company called Hito.
Yes.
You do so much, and you're still 65, and you're 65, and you
65 is young.
Exactly. I mean, it's just a number, but just having that mentality that you still have so much to give to the community and back to people, and to do all the things that you want to do is so inspiring that I just want people to take notes. If you're listening to this episode or just watching the video, take notes, because this woman is so inspiring. And we're going to talk about that more later. But you're 65, and then you're doing all, you're still planning on doing all this thing. What else, before we go into Hito Skin?
Yeah.
What else do you have in plan when it comes to your entertainment venues and everything that you're planning on the area?
Well, speaking about the documentary, I want that documentary to be done so that we can have another All-American Woman contest for somebody else, and then let that dream come true, and then another dream, like continue it, not just me be the only one. So that's what I'm working on. So that's a big project. And
it's a huge legacy too.
Pardon me? Yeah.
That's a huge legacy.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's 46 years ago this year. It was 45. I've been working on it since like last year, but it was 45 years ago. And I think there should be another one. So, and actually, Peter Marshall, who was one of the hosts, he's still here. He used to do the Hollywood Squares. I don't know if you know, like you're probably young, but he
I'm
did.
47, so I'm a
Okay,
baby.
he did the Hollywood Squares, like with all the celebrities and their like
Mhm.
little things. And he hosted it, and he's still here. And I want him to be a part of this too. You know, I want
That would be
all the
amazing.
people that were and Dr. Joyce Brothers was one of my the judges, and she's no longer with us, but you know, it was somebody like her judging, and a lot of athletes. So yeah, I just want to bring them back and let them shine with me. Like I want them to be like, you guys, where are you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's going
Oh,
to be a big
definitely.
task for me, and that's obviously entertainment because you know it's going to hopefully hit something where people can watch it, and that's what I want.
Yes, definitely. And the doors of this podcast are open for you whenever you want to come here and bring everybody and do an episode on the
Would that be
documentary.
so
We're
fun?
down for that. It's gonna be so much fun. Totally.
Mhm.
Now let's talk about Hito because you did all this dancing, you pursue your career as a dancer, you work in entertainment, you won this, award, you have done so much up to this point, and then all of a sudden you decided to turn into entrepreneurship.
Right.
And
Well, mhm,
as
I
we
did.
know, entrepreneurship, it's a really, it requires a lot of the person that is working this business, right? Especially when it comes to skincare. Tell
Mhm.
us about your journey, how that started.
Okay, this is fun. Um, I had a podcast, and it was called Ageless Ambitions, and I had really interviewed a lot of people, but this particular person was my friend, and I'm like, Indira, you got to come on, and I want you to talk about what you do. She owned three beautiful and high end doctor oriented med spas at the age of 30. Like she
Oh,
was
wow.
an entrepreneur like no other. And she just intrigued me so much. So when I had her on my show, and I took care of my body. I this was my instrument. I needed to take care of my body. But as you age and you're dancing, you see yourself in the mirror. It's like, whoa, when did that happen? You
Where
know?
did you come from?
Yeah, where did this come from? So it was intriguing to talk to her because she knows skin like no other. And she's well wounded in the industry. She knows she could look at something and say, you need to do this. This is this is that. This is a heated rat. She knows everything. And I was so intrigued by it. It woke me up differently than what I was doing in my life of teaching kids. And I knew the last 2 years of me doing what I was doing, I knew it was almost time because I couldn't up myself anymore with the shows that I was doing. I was just like, it was hard to keep that threshold higher and higher. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this sounds like I love this. I love what you're talking about. She's like, well, come down to the thing and I'll show you some things. And as I'm down there and we're, visiting a couple times, she's like, Christy, I really think you should have your own skincare line. And because of my background, because of, uh, I come from a family that everybody sort of knows. And, she just said, they'll trust you. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And it was her manufacturing and what she did to get her product in her med spas. She's like, I want you to talk to him and get something going. I think you would do really well. Well, I did. And wow, it was crazy. Like pivoting like that at 60 years old. I knew at that point, if I wanted to do it, I needed to take some kind of course, some kind of lesson, some kind of let me know what I'm talking about here. So I
Exactly.
kind of went back to school and it was a
I'm
skin.
sorry, say that one more time. You went to school at what age?
I know at 60.
Everybody, anybody out there need to take note.
because I'm not, I don't know. I didn't know
You
anything.
know what, I want to underline that because a lot of people use say, "Oh, I'm too old to go back to
No.
school to learn something new." And I found out so inspiring that you, at age 60, went back to school and get educated just to push forward and build your own skincare company. Like, that's inspiration right there. That's something that anybody from any age
And it
needs
was
to.
hard.
Yeah,
It
it's
was hard to
hard, but it's not
study again.
impossible. But not
It was
impossible.
it
Yeah.
was hard to study again. It's hard to let your brain like really get get back to learning, right? Because I mean, I was so good at what I did. It was just like automatic. And I think that's why I was so excited to wake up and be challenged a little differently. And so I went back. I mean, it was a lot of work, and more than anything, it just made me know if I'm going to talk about skincare, I didn't want to be obviously an esthetician. I didn't want to be a dermatologist. I just wanted
Mhm.
to know formulas and how they work in that. And I'm still learning. It's something that you just like dance, you never stop
Yeah.
learning. And so I went back to school. And then when I met with the manufacturing, they work with doctors and med spas. So physicians only, med spas only have these products. And I'm like, okay, well, let's start there because I want to reach us. You know,
Exactly.
people don't go to the doctor's office all the time. People don't go get to have the opportunity to go to med spas, but high quality products,
Yeah,
I
they
can
do.
do.
Yeah.
So, you know, but then I knew I needed to, create my brand and talk about something that's very difficult and the money it takes
Hmm.
and the packaging and, labeling and sustainability. Do you want,
Hmm.
you want sustainability, you want all that. And it's a lot. It's a lot. And I had my ups and downs with it because when I was dancing, I sold me. I just sold me and I put flyers on doorknobs. And it's so different,
Hmm.
marketing aspect and everything. And then
Yeah.
actually having zillions of skincare lines, right? It's very difficult to break in. But these are high quality products, and I was very proud to represent them and then bring them to us, bring them to everybody.
Why
Uh,
Hito?
Wahito. I took the time to understand. I'm 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 a dancer, so my sensuality. You have to have that to move. You have to move with some kind of sexuality. Like it's like I
Uh-huh.
taught my kids it differently, but you can't be stiff. You got to move.
Exactly.
And so that's what I wanted in this brand. I didn't want it to be medical looking. I didn't want it to be like everything's going to look like the same and the doctor. No, I wanted it to be sexy. I wanted it to be, a little bit different. And that's where, with a team that worked with me and they brought up Hito and I'm like, okay. No, no, from hedonism. Hedonism is self pleasure, self love, indulge. I'm like,
Hmm.
that's it. We want people to love themselves so much that they want to take care of their skin
Yes.
through Hedo. And then the tagline is your other significant other. We want Hedo to be your other significant other. And that's how it was created. And it wasn't easy. Like it's just not. And I wish anybody who ever wanted to do, you know, this kind of thing, there's different levels of everything, the skincare industry. There's a lot of labs, there's a lot of manufacturers, and you just got to understand that, there's levels to it. I'm at the high level of doing it right. And even though, like I said, these products are in doctor's office and med spas, but I wanted to treat them for everybody else. And then in that time frame of the 5 years that I've been working on it, getting to know people like you who want help with their skin. Hey, I want this. I want it. Can you let me I talk to my manufacturing, the owner every single day. And I say, Pete, we got to do this. You got to get me the serum. out of that eye gel. So let's make it work. Yes, we created it. So there's things that come out of the fact that you start with the best and then you
Mhm.
try to create more best.
Yes,
What I
indeed. And let me, for the people that is watching us and listen, will listen to this, I have tried her skincare, like, and let me tell you, is luxury. Like that's how it felt in my skin. It felt like luxury. It felt so good. And my skin felt and looked and felt so awesome. Like
Mhm.
it is definitely I highly recommend it that you have to go and try it. It because you have also put so much thought in the formula as well.
Well, yes, with the manufacturer, like he taught
Exactly,
me, right?
obviously. but
Right? Because
but
he needed to express to me like, look, you can't have these pretty much over the counter. This is the difference between like good, really high pharmaceutical and then what you can find in like the drugstore. It's
exactly.
because the drugstore manufacturing do not want any kind of, you know, affect. Like what will happen if it's too much?
Yeah,
Because
but
they
the
don't
fact
want.
that you are so involved in, also in the formulation and testing and making sure that the product comes out the exact way that you want it, so you serve your clients, your customers, the way that it should serve in their skin is also so
Mhm.
commendable. Because other companies they just like, yeah, just formulate whatever, and that the manufacturer do most of the work, and they just like, especially very famous people. They just put,
Oh,
their face,
mhm.
just put their face in there and do the marketing. That's it. Like they don't. I haven't heard of many very notable people doing the process that you do, like going so hand in hand with the manufacturer and be so intertwined in that process.
Right. Well,
Um,
that's where Indira, my friend, came through. Like she would be with me and like, Christy, no, this is good for this, that, and the other. That, because she owns the med spa, so she knows, and she would be treating me to like say, like, this is what's going to work for you. And this, so when you study that, this is why, stuff like that. So yeah, it was a team effort here. And and we're worldwide. We ship worldwide. So that's another thing. So Hito does do that. And yeah, it's been a journey. There's been good and not so good within the process of learning.
mhm.
um you know
How long the brand has been established so far?
well, I've been working on this since I was 60 and I'm 65. So I started actually with my own name. I started with Buss skincare. And right as I did it, I just knew it was going to be bigger than me. I needed something more universal, more, just more sex. Like I said, that just
Sexy.
more, yeah, just more different than me. So I did have that, and it was very small at the time when I was doing it. And then I just knew it was going to be. I didn't want it to be my name. So and then it's easier to down the road, exit, without
Yes.
without me. So yeah. So, but that's down the road. That's
Yeah,
not
that's not now, not
not now.
now.
Everything's good now. So, but
But let me tell you, I like I said before, these products are so luxurious. They feel so good, and the formulation feels so good in your skin. That is amazing. Let's talk about a little more about your products, like the routine, the basic routine skincare with your products. What is in each one of them? So the people that is actually watching or listening to this can know what they're getting into when they buy Hito, which again I highly recommend. So tell us a little bit about the
some
products.
of my viral products, let's
Yeah,
just say, are my glow pads, which have the
I
TCA in it.
love.
It has 6 acids, so it's really going to do a very big exfoliation on your skin. But it's like a mini peel. Like, this is what I'm saying. It's like, these are in doctors' offices and med spas. So what you want to do is treat it as if you were going to a med spa or doctor's office and getting a little mini peel, so that you would only use it like once a week to get your skin, ready for it, and then let it heal, because it's like a workout. You tear the muscle and then it builds back up when you rest. So you
Mhm.
want to do the same thing with your skin. You want that collagen to build and get stronger by letting it do that versus another exfoliation right after. So you want to just do that probably once a week. And then when your skin gets a little stronger, maybe twice or up to 3 times a week only. Other people have the opportunity to do more, but it's very few and far between. So the glow pad is very, very good to exfoliate and really just take that skin to a really nice glow level of getting rid of that dead
I
skin.
love them. I tried them,
Mhm,
and I love the pads. I love how the skin feels after the application. It's
mhm.
not abrasive. It's just, but you can
It's just
feel
enough.
it's just enough that you can feel that it's actually doing the work and it's actually extracting all the impurities out of your skin, and it felt so good. What's the other bestseller that you have
It's
that
with
goes?
my triple retinol, which
Yeah.
is a 0.8% proprietary blend of 3 retinols, but it's equivalent to the effect of 0.08 tretinoin, right? So it has that skin turnover effect, but there's no irritation like tretinoin. So it's very silky, it's smooth. There's really emollients in there. It's encapsulated, so it'll go in. It's very, very nice, and that's a definite viral product that I'm now with my manufacturing. We're doubling it, so there'll be a double, triple retinol, which will be 1.6 retinol, which is crazy. Very few companies have it, but there's still people that do. But this one's it's about the like you said, the formulation that's going to be very silky smooth and it feels good on your skin. So those two are my kind of viral products. But I have a hyperpigmentation kit. One's a pad and one's more of an inhibitor of melanin. So those two are what I really feel most of us, at our age and, between maybe 45 and 65, 70, is the hyperpigmentation on our skin because
Yeah.
we used to lay out in baby oil and,
Oh,
and
I was talking about that the other day, like how much I have used of copper tone and baby oil and
and
whatever.
iodine.
Yes, like oh
So
my
that
God.
hyperpigmentation is very, very prominent. So those are the kind of things that I do personalized FaceTimes. I like anytime anybody wants to talk to me, just let me know. Let's FaceTime, and then I see their what their skin's doing, and then I send samples first. I go over their skincare routine, what they're already using, and see if there's things in it that maybe they should look at. Mostly perfume, and I just don't think you need it in skincare.
Mhm.
That could be irritating the skin and why they feel like, I just don't know why. I said, well, this might be the reason. So then we throw in some samples, and then that's how Hito gets going with people to try it. I'm not a forceful person like, hey, get on there and okay, you have 10 minutes, you got 10 minutes to take. I don't do any of that. I
Yeah.
just take my time. I love it organically. I like this small group. Um, and grow that way.
You're
I
the
didn't do that.
sweetest.
I didn't do that with my studio. I didn't do that with my studio, and I'm not going to do it with this because I feel like I'd rather grow slow and know the people that are using the brand
Mhm.
and still have text messages with them. Hey,
Yeah.
what do you think about that? I still have that rapport. And actually, at my age and what I'm doing, I like that better than growing so much and just letting it be in a fulfillment center. I don't do that. I want it to be so personal.
Yeah. And I love it. Let me tell you guys, if you're listening and watching this, she is amazing. She's an amazing person. I had the opportunity to sit down and talk to her before, and she's the sweetest. So let you know, just to let you know that if you contact her and schedule that appointment with her to go through your skincare and your concerns, she's definitely gonna take care of you. She's amazing. And
Thank
I'm
you.
not saying that because you're here. I'm definitely saying that
No,
because you definitely are.
I appreciate it. Thank you so
Um,
much.
so, but I also heard that you have one product that you kind of released a couple of weeks ago. Is like the 24
Oh, okay.
karat
Yeah,
gold.
we had the eye gels. And then I got a request from, can we just have the serum inside that eye gel? And then, of course, I had to call up. And the thing is, we've never done it. They've never done it. So it was a process. So they had it all ready to go for me, and they were shipping it, and they just didn't like the way it was settling. And I'm like, you're serious right now? Because I've already sold it. So, because it was supposed to come with me the next day. And they like, no, we want to do it right. So yeah, I got a 24 karat basal cell repair that has nano gold, very, very small particles of it. The nano gold is what's different about anything 24 karat gold. The nano is in very few and far between products because it takes a lot of effort to break it down. And that's why 14 karat gold does not penetrate, but the nano gold does because it's smaller. And so, yeah, we just created it. It's right here.
Yay! And I love it. I was reading about it, and it sounds so good. What is like the main
It has growth
skin
factors.
problem? The
Oh,
what?
this has growth factors in it, and that stimulates collagen. It has rose water, 24 karat nano gold. But what it does is it just helps the basal cell repair. It just helps it, you know, be as normal as possible, if that's what you can say. You
Yeah.
want it to repair to be as normal as possible.
Oh, that's amazing.
Hmm.
And obviously, because it stimulates collagen, that means that wrinkles say bye bye.
Right.
Yes.
It's about the health of your skin. The
Mm-hmm.
health, it's like your body when you eat good food versus when you eat not good food. That all is internal. So that's the same thing with good skincare. When you give it the feeding that it needs, it's going to be healthy.
Yes. Well, Christy, we almost at the end of the
Oh,
interview. Now I have one more question for you before
uh-oh.
we go to the connect with me part, and that will be, well, actually two questions. Number one, what what from everything that you have done and accomplished in your life, what is the most fulfilling for you?
That's an easy answer because I've never even mentioned this. When I was with the Rams, we did 8 USO tours all over the world. I did one with Bob Hope, 8 days around the world. But when in 1983, I was in Beirut during the war, and we were performing like MASH in those tents, and the bombs were going off, and we were entertaining troops. And it was the most scary but rewarding time of my life, because not very many people get to do that, and to be there for our troops, and try to uplift them. And 3 months later, after we went there, they drove they drove through the barracks, and pretty much bad things happened. So I won't forget those moments of eating sea rations and being on the airport like runway in a helicopter because this group didn't want us to be with that group because they wanted to keep us to entertain more, things like that. But it was the most rewarding thing. And to see Beirut blown up when it used to be the Paris of the Middle East,
Mhm.
we just didn't understand. So when you travel and you do things and you get to do 8 USO tours, you really realize how important our liberty is, and how important we are in the United States of America. And I think we take for granted that so much. And if you did one of those tours and you see what really, you know, uh, sacrifice they do for us, we'd be living different lives.
Yeah. Well, as a veteran, I would like to say thank you for doing that for our troops. So thank you for sharing that with us. And then one more thing for the people that is listening to your story and it's getting inspired, what would you tell them today about how can they start reaching for their dreams?
Well, I really have to say that you have to believe in yourself, and you cannot have obstacles of negativity to ever enter, even though it's hard, and they will be confronted in front of you. It's how you surpass them, and you just keep going as you just got to keep going. You cannot fall back, because that's how people don't succeed, is they fall back and say I can't, based on other, outside activities or things that go on. But you just, the positivity that you can keep for yourself, first of all, keeps you healthy. The stress that you put on yourself makes you weak and makes you ill. So just keep, when it comes to anything that you want to do in your life, you have to just say every day, I can do it.
And that's right. You can do it. So you can start today working towards your dreams. Christy, where people can connect with you and your skincare?
My website's hedo.co. It's very easy. hedo.co, hedo.co. And I'm on Instagram and TikTok at Hedo Skin. And hey, reach out to me. I'm here. I thank you for having me. And more than anything, I just appreciate, you know, uh, women to women and just supporting each other. And just life is short,
Yes.
life is short.
Let's
And
live happy.
it's passing us by every day. So to make the best of it and just continue with love and support is all we should do.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for sharing your story and your journey with the audience today. I hope that they get so inspired as I do from you. You're an amazing example of, what it means to pursue your dreams and work towards what you love, and how it feels to work with love for what you do. And serving people in many other ways. So I thank you for everything that you have contributed to our community and the world, and everything that you're doing with the company, which is amazing. And you guys, you have to go and check out keto.co. Okay. Read through the ingredients, ask her if you have any questions. You can email her and establish contact with her and set up your appointment, right?
Yeah. And you
And,
can get
and
samples. Like, I'm not here to just throw product at you, but you should try it. And
yeah,
then that way you know what you're getting. And I love that. That's one thing that I really try to emphasize, that, you know, don't just buy anything until you know, because there's so many people don't need new skincare when they already have it, right? But when they're ready, then you can sample and then see what you might want to change based on that.
yes,
That's what I like.
exactly. So feel free to go to her website and contact her. She will definitely send you those samples, and you can set up an appointment with her, and she will go through and discuss, your concerns about your skin. Thank you so much, Christy, for sharing your story with us today. You guys, if you have not picked up the copy of my book, Authorship, The Art of Writing Books, Self-Publishing and Marketing on a Budget, feel free to stop by Amazon and grab your copy. All I've been hearing is amazing feedback from the people that already is starting writing their books using this how-to guide that I just created for you. So feel free to stop by in Amazon and grab it. In the meantime, until the next one, don't forget to unlock your potential and be fearless. Bye.